Hey legends, welcome along to Here's Rodder's Reviews. Now if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, hang about to the end of the episode. We've got a little something special right there for you. But let's get into the bulk of this episode, and it is Mother Android on Netflix. Literally just finished watching it here, and it's literally only out in the last couple of days here in the UK. And you know what? There's not really a lot to be said about this film. It delivers on what it promises to deliver. You know, the synopsis of the movie pretty much tells you. You know, post-apocalyptic America, androids have gone crazy. They've revolted against the humans, and it's a fight for life, for survival, basically. And it picks up the story of two people, Georgia and Samuel, who at the beginning of the film she finds out that she's pregnant to him, and this is literally the day that whatever goes wrong, and the androids turn on everyone. And it's pretty much your robotic butler sort of an idea. And at the beginning of the movie, she figures out she's pregnant. She tells him. They're not sure what to do. She wants to keep it a secret from her parents, and she's unsure of the relationship with Sam. She doesn't really have feelings for him. It's an unplanned pregnancy. She's not sure what to do. She doesn't want to be a mother at such a young age. So before they get to really figure things out, they head off to a party, and the android butler at her house wishes Sam a happy Halloween as he's leaving. But it's Christmas time, and the android's wearing a Christmas jumper, and Sam tells him it's Christmas, and the android's like, of course. So it's kind of, you know, this is beginning of Christmas time, but the android says happy Halloween, kind of giving you the heads up that horror is about to happen. Not so much in the horror front of this movie, it's more of a science fiction thriller. But at the party, George's phone goes crazy. There's like a high-pitched scream comes out of it, like a glitch on the phone, and this signals the change in the androids, and they hear this screaming and fighting going on in the sitting room of this house party they're at, and they discover the android butler in this house is actually killing people. And it very swiftly moves from there. They manage to fight that android down. The surviving guests at the party, they run out into the street, and they're hearing screams and gunshots all over the city, and like mobile phones are exploding in people's faces, killing the people that own them. It's just havoc at this point, and we pretty much cut from there till 9 months later, and she's just on the verge of giving birth, and they're in the countryside, they're in the forest, they're trying to make their way out of the country if they can manage it. They're originally heading towards New York, and that didn't work out, and they had to change their travel plans, start heading towards Boston. Now they do get to an army outpost very close to the beginning of the film, where they're reasonably safe, and Georgia is offered by the medical officer there, the nurse, to stay and have the baby, but Sam kind of screws things up and starts a fight. Well, he doesn't actually start the fight, but you know, there's a transport heading for Boston. He's trying to get onto it, and he's asking people, you know, how can I get onto this? And this soldier says, you know, if you can beat me down, I'll give you the lift. But this backfires badly whenever Sam causes a lot of personal damage to this guy, and the commanding officer of the base kicks him out. He says, you're no longer welcome here, get out, you've 2 minutes to get out. George is trying to plead with him to let them stay. She's pregnant, you know, what are we going to do? And he's like, that's it, 1 minute to get out, or I'm going to call all the other bases and tell them not to take you in either. So they're on their own once again, and you know, they hold up in an abandoned house for a night, and Sam discovers a scrambler in the garage, and he's trying to fix it. They were planning to stay at that house, have the child there and then continue in their journey. But Sam is like, newborn baby, he's going to be crying all the time. We need to be quiet. There's like a no man's land between where they're at and getting to Boston, and it's going to be nearly impossible to traverse. That's a big word for this time of night. It's going to be impossible with a newborn infant with them. And he talks her into, it's 20 miles. Like on foot, it's going to take him about 4 days maybe. If we use a scrambler, we can get there by the end of the day. But she's not sure about this, but reluctantly agrees. And off they go. But they're ambushed by a bunch of androids on the way there. The action sequences in this movie, when they happen, are pretty damn good. Like the opening of the movie where the androids go crazy, start killing, it's fairly well done. This sequence when they're ambushed by the androids, Sam is taken, Georgia is saved by this guy, known only as George, I want to say. And in all fairness, I enjoyed this movie more than I was hoping to, but at the same time, not really a fulfilling ending to it. Arthur, the guy that's saved by her is called Arthur, and he is a guy that worked for the company that designed these robots, originally these androids, and he tells her that Sam has been taken and he's been held captive because the androids have worked out the humans' algorithm. It's all love and feelings and whatnot, and if they use the humans' own feelings against him, so he's like, this guy is going to be kept safe till you come looking for him. And he gives her this jacket, this coat that he's designed, that I don't really want to spoil this too much for you, so if you don't want it spoiled, get off the video now, go and check out the episode and come back afterwards. But this suit, this jacket that he's invented, has got technology that will make her kind of invisible to the sensors of these androids, and he helps her to get into the house where Sam has been held captive, and she manages to rescue him. But the two of them almost get killed coming out, and they're again rescued by this guy Arthur. He comes in with a shotgun, taking out androids left, right and centre. She's literally gone on the childbirth at this stage. The waters have broken, she's on the verge of giving birth, and he drags her out, gets her to a truck that he has, and she passes out and wakes up in Boston the next day after having a C-section. And Sam is there, but through the injuries he sustained while he was prisoner to the androids, he's lost both his legs from the kneecaps down. And this army colonel or whatever, he's a soldier of some sort, comes into the room where they're at in this hospital and starts asking her questions. What happened, where did you come from, your name, what's his name, where did you come from, where were you trying to get to, how did you get here, what about this guy that brought you here? And she fills him in on the whole thing and tells him about the cloak of invisibility, let's just say. Invented this technology where I could just walk into the house and these androids couldn't see me, and I picked up the boyfriend, the father of my child, and pretty much walked out with him. And the guy is like, you need to get your story really straight here, because that technology doesn't exist. Do you think if that technology was actually real, you don't think we'd be using this against the robots? And this is where the penny drops for her and probably most of the audience. Now, I like something that has a bit of a twist to it, and that one there I didn't see coming, but it was one of these ones in hindsight, whenever you discover it, you'll start to connect a few of the things along the story of the movie, and you're like, they really did put out the breadcrumbs there if you were looking hard enough for it. Turns out this guy Arthur is an android, and he's infiltrated Boston, and pretty much opened the floodgates for the androids to get in. Battle ensues. Georgia manages to set off the EMP, save whoever's in the hospital, and the next day they head off to the pier, to the boat that's hopefully going to take them to China. That's the big aim for them in this movie, is America's been compromised completely. There's a family plan that they've heard about that's getting mothers and babies out of the country. Georgia, as far as she's concerned, she heard at the beginning that it was families, and she was thinking, okay, if we can get there, they'll take me, they'll take Sam, they'll take the baby and get us out of the country. But again, there's leaving crumbs throughout the storyline for that as well. Eventually she starts to find out that it's only mothers and babies that can be taken out of the country to China to relative safety. And yes, by the end of the movie you get another little twist right there where they get to the boat. And again, spoilers, if you don't want to hear this, go watch the movie. They do get to the boat, and they're hoping to get on board. And she's like, Georgia is like, I understand that it's maybe only the mothers and the babies that you can take out of the country. The child is literally 2 days old at this point, and the woman breaks the bad news to her that the only people that they can take are the newborns themselves. They can't take mothers or the fathers because of the global food shortage. Essentially, it's just like there's too many mouths to feed. It's the devastating, heartbreaking moment for her in particular. Sam is pretty much at death's door at this point in the movie. He's lost both limbs from the kneecaps down, and the doctors told him, look, we don't know if you're going to be okay. We've done what we can do for you. So he is at the docks along with Georgia at the end with the infant, and he says himself, I'm not going to make it, I'm bleeding out right here. And in all fairness, I've said it countless times in the show before, I enjoy movies that can get a good emotional response out of me. And by the end of this movie, that sequence alone where Georgia and Sam have to make that decision to give up their child for the hope that he'll have a chance of a better life out of the country. Her acting in this is absolutely fantastic. Chloe Grace Moretz, absolutely phenomenal acting job from her, particularly at the end here whenever she's giving up the child and sending him out of the country. And it was beyond that fairly unsatisfactory ending to the movie, I have to say. Now, and in all fairness, watching this movie, I was thinking to myself, how the heck can you really finish this in a satisfactory way? It's like, the planet is basically ended at this point. It's never going to be the same again. Androids are pretty much the dominant race on the planet at the end of this movie as far as America goes. And at the end of the movie, we discover Georgia is on her own, and she's moving on to a new army outpost that it's been established in the country. So it's, she's lost Sam at the end of the movie, she's lost her baby. Actually, there was a nice little moment between the two of them whenever she finally tells him that she loves him. So the relationship did have the possibility to go places, but it is what it is. We're in the middle of a android apocalypse, and things just didn't work out too well for her at the end. It's pretty much, kid gone, he's gone, I'm here in my own, I've survived and just have to keep moving on. So that's where it ends off at. She gets into an army truck and that drives off, and she's just staring out into the distance as it drives away. It's it's not a waste of your time by any stretch. Give it a chance. That opening of this movie is strong. This isn't a rewatcher. I'm not going to go back and check it out again. I enjoy, you just have to see about the Office on here. There's DVDs as far as the eye can see. If I enjoy a show or a movie, I could quite easily go back and watch it multiple times. This movie here, unfortunately, is a one time only for me, and I don't feel that it was a waste of time. And yes, again, it's just one of these ones that would be difficult to find an end to it, but after that strong opening, it does drag for about 45 minutes, and I could have quite easily jumped out at any point before that there. But as I say, I like a movie that gives you a nice emotional response. Now, I'm a big softie, but no problem with saying that there, as I am what I am. I don't care. Watching The Right Thing, I will bawl like a child, and in all fairness, whenever that boat was going away from the dock at the end of the movie after them giving up the kid, I did get a little bit teary-eyed because of the performance from Chloe Grace Moretz. She was phenomenal in that part of the movie. So yes, not a waste of your time whatsoever. Go check it out. But for me, it's not going to be a rewatcher at all, but definitely not a waste of your time.